So today's class is April 21st, and I'm going to be quick, straight to the point. I just want everybody to know what's up and what your assignments are. So up until now, we've had an assignment that's draw your hand, which is all about like surrealism and putting your hand into a landscape and then adding some shading. You had a few weeks to do that, and so that's why that assignment is worth more points if you look in gradebook. The other assignments that you have to do is the one that's play with your food or something else in your house. Both of those were due to our Sonia, and then last week's was a list of 10 things that you might want in your ideal coronavirus room. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Well, dang, if I can find which one it is. Wrong screen. Hold, please. I always have way too many web pages pulled up, so there's like, it's like an adventure to find which one is the actual thing. Here we go. So this is the template for last week, and again, you start with this template because of that artist that put out this challenge, #CoronaMason, which means house in French. Again, probably butchering how to say that. It's probably said in some kind of French accent with a different tone. I need to look it up, but the whole point is to get an ideal space where you would spend the coronavirus, or your time in isolation, I guess it would be. Hello, PowerPoint. Man, the struggle bus today. There we go. Okay. Well, that's why I was in the wrong spot. So I included this link for y'all. So essentially that you could click on it and see what other people have done. Hey, Carly. I included this link so you could click on it, see what other people have done for their assignment, and that way you can use that for inspiration. It's really cool that this artist like put all of these onto one page so that we could see how other people are responding to it. And again, this is an example of an exquisite corpse drawing. So it's an example of something where you're all doing things in different places. You have no idea what other artists are doing, and then you can come together and see what other people have created to make this whole giant community collaboration. So there's a lot of different examples on there. Some of them are a little bit more obviously younger and don't have as much detail, but they're still trying to add some detail here, you know, like there's stuff happening on the TV, there's things on top of the fridge, there's things on the table, the people are in different poses. And this person just printed out this template and drew on it, obviously. There's also other ways that you can tackle this assignment. So if you are somebody who loves digital art, like I know Carly really likes digital drawing, you could do it digitally. This person even did it on a chalkboard. And so I have a whiteboard back there. Like I could technically draw like a little like staircase doodle on my whiteboard and then add different things in there. The main thing that I want you to think about is how can you make it look like a room that has a lot of stuff in it that's personal to you. I want you to consider perspective and making things go back in the distance. So if you think about this, like you can tell that the sky is in the very, very back, and there's a ledge on the window, and then there's stuff on the floor, and the whole like room kind of going back at an angle. That's what makes it look like it is three-dimensional, or like it has space, even though there's more doodles on there. Think about different like characteristics that the room could have. Like this one has a different type of staircase. It has a door up here. It has a skylight that the kitty is looking out of. There's lights on the top of the ceiling. There's stuff on the walls. There's a window on the right over here. So consider how, like, if you got, like, what would your ideal bedroom be even? Consider that. People have done this with marker. Then again, here's some examples of digital drawing. It doesn't have to be super complex, but there's still detail in here, even though it's not like a super sophisticated drawing, correct? This one was done on, like, this could be done on something as simple as like Google Slides, you know, where you like put like a picture in the background and then you like copy and paste different things on there. This kind of stuff, if you want to do it digitally, it's fine. You might just have to do a little Googling and figuring out how to do that yourself, because I'm not really here to help with that part of it. But think about different ways in which you could creatively tackle this assignment as well if you aren't feeling like drawing it. This is one of my favorite ones. I just like how she A, made it in her style, but B, has a lot of different characteristics to the room that I might not have thought of. Like, I love this little wall nook. There's a window. She has the staircase over on the left. You got a chandelier. And it's all kind of in a similar color scheme. I just think it's cool how she did it. And this one was done digitally as well. So as you can see, there's a lot of variety in responses to this, and I showed you a bunch of them last week too. But one thing that I was going to do it on the call this week, but I want this call to be pretty quick and to the point, because since I'm an elective teacher, we're supposed to have a 20-minute class or a 20-minute lesson for the week, and so I want most of that time to be used for drawing. And so if you are somebody who wants to draw their room in accurate perspective, and you don't feel like you know how to do that right now, I've included a YouTube video on the PowerPoint for you to click at and look at in order to help you, just as if I were there trying to help you. Because if I were to do the demonstration, it would have been similar to this. And so different things like, if you look at this drawing, the little cat scratcher thing, the angles that are kind of going back in the distance, that's what makes that look like it does have depth and it does have space, and that's an element of art, right? And as for AP, I do want you guys to consider how to make things look like they're not just flat, right? The same with this table. The same with the skylight. And so consider perspective, consider making things look like they go back in the distance. So this week's assignment, again, I'm going to keep this pretty brief today, is last week's assignment was to brainstorm. This week's assignment is going to be to draw it out, and then next week's assignment is going to be to shade it and add color and detail and things like that. So this week's assignment is to draw and detail your ideal quarantine space. I want at least 5 of the 10 things that you made on a list to be included. And I want you to consider giving the room different qualities. So windows, extra rooms, like different types of nooks, like the one I just showed you. And look at those examples for inspiration on this. Like, you don't have to have the same things in the room, but you can look for examples on how other people basically made the rooms a little bit different. Be okay with, like, I'm okay with doodles. I'm okay if they're like a little bit cartoony. I don't care if it's a realistic drawing of a room. But what I do want and what I do expect from pre-AP is there to be some detail, okay? Well, I said you need to have at least 5 things. If I just pick 5 things that I would want in my coronavirus room, coffee, cat, dog, husband, iPad, like, if that's all that's in the room, that's kind of sad, right? So make sure that you're adding detail, because that's what can be really interesting about these. Draw a line so you get it right. Y'all are pre-AP, you already know that. After you are finished with your drawing, I want you to upload it to Flipgrid. If you aren't able to upload to Flipgrid, there's also going to be an assignment on Google Classroom and you can upload your progress there. But I don't want it to be like weeks from now where this assignment is due. I have to give you an assignment every week that I give you a grade for. And so you're going to have a grade for the progress that you make this week with the drawing. And so what I want you to do with that is, if you can, I want you to upload it to the Classroom Flipgrid. And so let me exit out of this thing for a minute and pull up. I have the Flipgrid pulled up somewhere. I just don't know where. Here we are. So for example, like the way that Flipgrid works is it says Corona Mason progress, and you can record a response on a Chromebook or on a computer if it has a webcam, or you can record a response on your phone. There's a Flipgrid app. And let me just show you. This is my 9th grade pre-AP art one. So I created like 3 different topics. So one is art that you're creating. So you can show the class and other people that are looking at our Flipgrid different art that you're making. You can say hello. So look at mine.
Hey students, it's me, Miss Springer or Armstrong, and
that's my puppy.
This is Frodo. I was going to do an intro video in here for you guys because I want you all to say hi and how you're doing and what's been up, since I want us to...
Yeah, so you can watch the rest of it. But I mean, the whole point is to be able to see things in video format that are a little bit more progress. Like, it doesn't have to be, this isn't a finished assignment this week, because we're going to add on to it next week. And so it doesn't have to be like uploaded to our Sonia unless you just want But I'd really like you to upload to Flipgrid because it's an easier way for people to stay in contact, and then you guys can see each other's work. I think that's a really cool way that we can stay in touch as a class. So you can upload other art that you've been doing on there and just show people. You can turn around your camera and say hi. You can show, or I want you to show what progress that you're making on this, and that's going to be for a grade. Okay, and so the option is you can either turn it into Flipgrid. If you can't figure that out, it's pretty straightforward, I think. But if you can't figure that out, then you're welcome to turn a in progress thing in on Google Classroom. I'm going to include whenever after this class at 2 o'clock, your assignment goes live, and that's when the Flipgrid instructions, the PowerPoint, your assignment on Google Classroom, that's when all that shows up on Google Classroom. And so you can go there to join. And a few weeks back in the stream, or at least last week in the stream, I even posted instructions on how to get to our Flipgrid, so you can also access it that way. So that's pretty much it. You're drawing your thing, you're uploading a Flipgrid. That's all. So that's all, folks. I'm stopping the recording now.